Okay, good evening. Good evening, people. It is day 60, so that officially marks thereabouts 2 months of this series. Now, there's a lot of things I kind of want to go over today. First things first, I am going to Athens tomorrow morning for 4 days. If you haven't been watching the videos, a guy messaged me and said that a guy, one of my closest childhood friends messaged me and said, I've broken up with my girlfriend, I've got this trip booked to Athens, and you're the first person I could think of to go with. So, of course, with an offer like that, in the time of life that I'm in, with minimal responsibilities other than myself, I don't have kids to pay for, I don't have a wife to pay for, I don't have houses, bills to pay in regards to consistent payments of cars or whatever. Of course I said yes. Now, I know I just got back from what you could call a quote-unquote holiday a few weeks back, and in all honesty, it's been good, but the last month has been, it's been good, but it's not been as good as I thought it would be. Don't get me wrong, it's good. We've signed one of the biggest clients in the world, but it's got to a point now where I kind of deeped it today that I'm at this point now where I'm focusing on this specific goal. Now, the goal is to get to 10k a month, right? But I'm not focusing on getting 10k a month. What I'm focusing on is the lifestyle and the freedom that 10k a month allows. It's just a vehicle. That 10k a month is just a vehicle. Now, looking at it from an analytical perspective, nothing more than just an outsider's third-person view. And if you do the full stats, it's not actually that hard to get to the goal. What is hard is putting your head down and focusing on what needs to be done. So that's been my kind of goal the last month or so. But I'm now in a position where I don't know what it is that I'm doing. Now you're gonna be like, what's this guy on about? He just worked 60 days. Now, in regards to what I'm doing, I know exactly what I'm doing in terms of, it's not like I'm just sat here at zero, but I don't know which path to go down. And that's where I'm currently sat in regards to a crossroads. I'm thinking for the sake of the future and not wasting time as we move forward. As I was saying, I deep today the fact that I'm in this position now where I'm focusing to get to my goal, and I'm that deep into it that I'm sacrificing girlfriends. I'm sacrificing going out with people and just socializing a lot. I play tennis and stuff, right? I see people, but I don't have a usual life as someone my age does. And it's got to the point now where I know all of this information on this specific business stuff, and I know all this information that if I were to get to 60 years old or 70 or 80 or whatever, and I look back and I haven't done what I set out to do, whilst also sacrificing everything that I'm currently sacrificing to get to where I want to get to, that is the scariest thing. It is genuinely the scariest thing, because you only get one shot at this life. And if I get to the age of 70 knowing that I didn't put my absolute all into it and I failed and I didn't get to where I wanted to get to, and all I did was make these YouTube videos and just say I'm going to do stuff and then not actually follow through with it, then my life is just going to be a fucking I'm just going to sit there with regret. And I think a lot of people in a similar boat to that they're going to be sat in somewhat of a pool of regret when they get to an old age if they don't accomplish what they set out to do. Now, I think there's levels to this, but in my specific position, I've been in this space for a long period of time, and to the extent where I've never had a job, or I've had a job, but I haven't had a job to which I went into work every day, ever. It's always been online. Ever since I was 15, when I started running Instagram accounts for Fortnite Pros, and it's just gone on from there. I've never had a job. So I'm that far into this space now that I understand all of the principles behind it to an extent. Obviously, I'm only 20, so please take that with a grain of salt. I don't understand all of the principles, but I understand them to a regard of which I'm that deep into it that if I then go and fail, I'm just never gonna live with myself. So, with that really, really positive and happy statement that I've just made, it's a case of understanding what vehicle you're going to use to get to where you want to get to. And that's the current crossroads that I'm at. Now, I can't be openly honest with you yet, but there's a lot of things that I want to do, but only a small period of time to which I can do them. And you could say you have 16 hours in a day, why can't you focus 4 hours on this, 4 hours on that, 4 hours on this? And everything overlaps. And also, although it may be, although people disagree, there's only a certain amount of brain capacity you can kind of use in a day where you can actually be working at a high potential. Whereas the rest of it, you can try your best, but it's not as easy to work on exactly what it is that you want to be working on. So I'm just at a stage of I don't know what to do in regards to moving forward now. Again, I can't go into much detail on it now. I'm sure I will in the next few days. But I'm just currently thinking, because I'm only 20, right? So in the grand scheme of things, I have a lot of time. But then again, I don't have that much time. Because the longer I take, the longer I'm going to be sacrificing stuff. And the longer I'm going to be almost living the same life day by day. And I know that's part of entrepreneurship, but I don't want to miss out on stuff now that I look back on at the age of 60, 70, 80 and think, fuck, I wish I did more of this when I was younger. So, yeah, and when I say that, I don't mean partying. I don't mean all this stuff. But what I do mean is, it sounds so naive because people are just going to say that you can just get your head down 100% of the time and you'll be successful relatively soon, which I wouldn't disagree is the case, but if it doesn't work, that's always the thought is, if it doesn't work, what if it doesn't work? There's no guarantee that it works. So there's always that niggle in the back of your head telling you, should I quit? Is there any point of me doing this? Should I be doing something else? I know that's all the point of entrepreneurship, but what I'm getting at is I'm currently 20 years old. And I'm currently 20 years old, and I've never been in a close relationship with a girl ever. And I know you're probably going to be laughing. You're like, what the fuck is this guy on about? But that's what comes with me talking for 60 days straight about a similar topic. Now, I'd like to have a girlfriend, don't get me wrong, but I want to be able to provide for the girlfriend, and I want to sort myself out first. And I think a lot of us are in a similar boat to that as well. So it's a tough, mate. This spot on my face is really pissing me off. It better go soon. It's going, whatever. It's slowly going, whatever. So it's a crossroads, but I think I know the answer. I'm just kind of venting about it. The answer is don't go and get a girlfriend. The answer is work and get to where you want to get to an extent. I'm not saying get to multi-millionaire status before you start doing that, but get to an area where you've sorted yourself out and you've put your full and hardest potential into working. But right now, my mind is almost everywhere. It's like a scattered plate of marbles. Like it's here, there, everywhere. And I know exactly how business works and how to get to the 10K a month. I know how all of these different businesses work in regards to TikTok. Obviously, that's not a business, but it's an income source. SMMA, IPGA, YouTube, all of this stuff. I've been in this space for that long. I'm not saying I'm the best. I'm not the best, but I understand the principles of it. But it's a case of putting your all into one thing rather than splitting your time into 20 different things at once. Now, I saw a thing by Alex Hormozy a while ago, and it said how the thing that puts people off becoming a quote-unquote millionaire is they put the quoted millionaire has 7 income sources. which is the case. But to get to those 7 income sources, they didn't work on 7 at the same time. They poured all of the workload of 7 of those businesses into one, got that successful, and had an income source and an income capital that they can spend on other income sources to then slowly build their way up to the top. So, like anyone else in the past, if you want to get to where you want to get to, there's no point of reinventing the wheel. You want to look at what works and you go with that. Yes, you can be creative and work around it, but the principle of working on one specific thing rather than putting all of your eggs into every single basket there is and seeing which one comes out on top, you're never going to get to its full potential if you're always going about 20% on each of them. So I think it's better to just go ham on one specific thing, but with that comes the burden of not getting money initially. If you completely dropped everything and went ham on a business that you were confident in but doesn't generate any revenue straight away, then you're just going to be working and just burning cash. And depending on how high your expenses are, obviously some people are going to be in better situations than others. People are going to have saved up money in advance. But on the whole, if you drop everything and just go ham on one from zero, unless you've got backup funds, it's not easy. So it's a case of that same idea of working a 9 to 5 and then working a 5 to 9 afterwards, which is you're literally spending a whole day working, but with that comes what I would say progress. But it's not easy to just stick to that schedule. It's attractive, and we all want to be able to stick to that schedule. If we could just say, okay, every day I'm going to be working from 9 to 5 and then 5 to 9 when I get home on a business. It sounds attractive, and you know that that's exactly what you want to do. But when it comes to the time of when you should do it and when you should work on that specific business or whatever it is, there's so many different forms of distractions and procrastination that you can use. You can use the excuse that I'm tired and I've worked all day today and now I want to have a chill out and chill out watching Netflix, which is more stimulus, which is just going to make you a bit even more like worked up. But again, it's chilling out because you're sat there and you don't have to do anything. So there's always an excuse, and for you to sit there from nothing and then suddenly click your fingers and next day you're working a 9 to 5, then you finish your 9 to 5 and you work from 5 to 9 as soon as you get home. It's obviously feasible, it's possible, but there's something that you want to be and there's something that you are right now, and you've got to get from where you are right now to the person that you want to be. You get that 3 a.m. motivation and you're thinking to yourself, okay, when I wake up, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. No procrastination. I'm just going to wake up, do this, one thing at a time and just work on it. And it sounds easy on this stream. And I'm sure if all of these people on social media, such as David Goggins or the guy with the Lamborghini, I'm not going to say his name again because I'll get flagged by YouTube, they would just be like, mate, you're a fucking bitch, just fucking man up and do it, right? Which is, I 100% agree with, but it's one thing saying don't be a bitch, it's another thing doing it. Now, I don't know how to say this. It's just, if you want something to work, you've got to work on it, right? But that has got to come with a sacrifice, whether it's your job, whether it's your time, whether it's your family, whatever it is, right? And right now I'm in a pretty privileged position because I've got an online income, and there's things that I want to do. So it's a case of discipline to an extent, but I know it will work. I know exactly how to do it. I know exactly what I'm doing. I know everything, every little minor detail, because I've done it for the last 3 years of my life. Well, more longer than that, but it's actually running a business. I know the ins and outs of almost everything. And I'm not saying I'm a professional. There's obviously there's ways to optimize stuff, and I'm probably naive in 9 times out of 10. But what I do understand is the principles of building a business from the ground up. The principles, not how to do them as best as possible, but I understand how to do it. I understand what you need to do. I understand what needs work, what needs to be perfect, what doesn't so much need to be perfect. And moving up from there on out. So yeah, the reason I say this is because I'm at a crossroads. I'm currently sat here and I'm looking at this one thing, and I know that I could easily get to 10k a month within 120 days doing it if I actually got my head down and worked on exactly what I want to do. Like, you can change your life in 6 months, if not less. But it's a case of actually taking that step. And yeah, I read this quote to my friends the other day because it was on the same kind of wavelength as me, and I'm gonna read you this quote. I just want to make sure I get it right. When it feels scary to jump, that is exactly when you jump. Otherwise, you end up staying in the same place your whole life. So, I'm 20 and I'm just trying to understand the principles of everything. Not principles of life. I don't think that's really relevant. But the principles of what I'm going to do moving forward and everything there. Now, I'm currently sat in a place where, as I say, I'm 20 years old and I want to move to get to a goal. And I feel like the last few years, I've basically just said the same thing twice there, sorry. But the last few years, it feels like I've just been living the same day every day of my life. And that's not the way that I want to live. I've got a person that I want to be, and I've got aspirations that I want to achieve, but every day seems to be somewhat similar. And I'm not seeming to actually take the actions needed to move myself forward to be the person that I want to be. So, with that being said, I think what I'm looking for more than anything is change. And change that makes me more accountable for my actions and more accountable for what I do in day-to-day life. And that same thing of putting your back against the wall, because if you don't do what you need to do, you're not going to get to where you want to get to, and you're also not going. There's also going to be downsides to it. You're not going to be able to pay the bills or whatever. So yeah, I really I don't want to call it a rut, but because I've moved forward significantly over the last 60 days. But I just feel like there could be more change. That I could be doing more. And I know I've talked about distractions and everything over the last few days, but obviously you're going to come to these little roadblocks in your life. Not every day is going to be perfect. There's going to be ups and downs, whatever, and it's how you overcome them that makes you the person that you are. You can either sit there and not do anything about it, or realize the issue and attend to it as best you can and move forward from it and working as hard as you can. So yeah, I think life is hard. It's always going to be hard, regardless of whether you want it to be hard or not. If you try and avoid your problems, you can avoid your problems, but they're still going to eat you. They're still going to get you in the back. So you can either avoid your problems, which is what most people do, and when they've got an issue or a bit of stress or whatever it is, they'll instinctively go onto their phone and try and distract themselves from doing the thing that is the problem that they need to fix, and the thing that is hard, whatever it is. But you can either there's two kind of people in this world. There's people that avoid it, and then there's people that attack it head on. And the people that attack it head on are the ones that are successful. It's as simple as that. So, I mean, if you think of any rich person off the top of your head, you can imagine that when stuff gets hard, whether it be in business, whether it be in life, they attack it head on. They don't avoid it. And they do what's needed to overcome that hurdle, rather than sit there like a pussy and be like, yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. Now, obviously there are exceptions, like people like Adam Ross. He's just rich, but I couldn't see him like grabbing the bull by the horns and just attacking life that way. But on the whole, if you want to get to where you want to get to, because we're sadly not Adam Ross, you've got to be able to realize when something's hard and kind of understand that it's hard and see that it's hard and realize, okay, this is hard. I need to do what I said I'm going to do and be the person that I said I'm going to be and attack it rather than avoid it. Which attacking it is always the better option every time. might feel better at the time initially to avoid it, but you attack the problem head on, and that's what's going to move you forward. Otherwise, you're just going to stay stagnant forever, and it will probably get worse as well most of the time. So yeah, I feel like I've kind of talked a load of nothing here, but I'm just trying to, I say, articulate my feelings to you, basically. So yeah, again, the reason I've got my hat on is because I've just had a shower and my hair is flat, and I'm not sat here. I'm not going to sit here with my hair flat because it looks awful. So yeah, but yeah, tomorrow I go to Athens. I'm going to have a proper think about everything and see where we go. But yeah, I don't think there's much more I need to say. I just need to think about it and then come back to you tomorrow night. Now the next 4 nights won't be as good as this because I won't be at my desk. I'll be on my phone recording little vlogs again, but they will be short and sweet and probably more concise, which is a good thing. But yeah, as I say, I'm just trying to work out stuff, and I'm trying to do it here while I'm talking, but it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. You don't want to rush. You don't want to make any rash decisions, right? So yeah, with that said, thank you for watching the video, and yeah, attack your problems head on, whether they're small or large, whether it's a message that you don't want to reply to initially or something bigger. Just fucking reply to that message and get it done with. Anything like that. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow night. I appreciate you all so much. And yeah, sorry that this video has been fairly, I don't want to say depressing, but my voice hasn't been very charismatic. So yeah, as I say, I'll see you tomorrow night, and peace. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you.